Morning.
Morning, grumpy old women. We're back.
We're not so grumpy
We're not so grumpy
these,
anymore.
these days.
Yes, we're quite happy. But we stopped for a couple of weeks, didn't we?
Yes, we did.
Why?
Because my voice troubles me, but I'm trying to get used to it. I'm trying to forget it. So I'll just talk like an old woman, which is, of course, what I am, an old woman.
We've been doing quite a lot of laughter because some people know I've just done a laughter yoga workshop and I have a certificate now, so I'm a bit of an expert in laughter.
Really?
And we've been laughing for a minute
Well,
every day almost. And seeing if that makes any difference to Mum's voice. It certainly makes a lot of difference to my mood,
yes, well, that's good.
which is always good for the family. So it's Sunday morning, it's the 25th of May, and
We've just watched Insiders.
it's a beautiful day up here in the Northern Rivers,
Yes.
unlike the mid-north coast, although I did hear that the Pacific Highway is open again now, so that's good. Hopefully the rain will stop, but as we know up here, it's the time after the floods that is actually the most difficult in some ways because
Yes.
it's the big cleanup. So
Yes.
our thoughts are with anyone watching from the mid-north coast. All
We're
strength
with
to you.
you. Yes.
Anyway, good morning. Yeah, we've just watched Insiders, but of course it's been about 2 weeks. How long has it been since the election?
About
2 or 3 weeks?
3, I think.
And that has been incredible. As somebody said, usually after an election, people get to put their feet up and have a bit of a rest, smoke a cigarette. But hasn't been the case this time, has it?
No, it hasn't,
It's
because
been
the coalition has made sure of that we don't forget them.
Well, when you look at the immediately after the election, it was just one thing after another. The so the first thing was that Labor has clearly won with a landslide, a massive majority government of 93 seats, possibly 94.
Possibly, just waiting.
I think they're still waiting on a couple of results, but whatever, 93 or 94, it's still pretty bloody great.
A record. I don't know whether it's a record for all time, but certainly a record for the last 40 or 50 years.
And people are saying that it means really most likely they have a mandate to be in power for several years to come, which is really exciting because it's always the Labor Party who makes the significant changes in the country and pushes the country forward and in a progressive kind of way. So we're excited to see what happens. And of course, I didn't realize, but this year they just told us on Insiders that it's the 50th anniversary of the sacking of the Whitlam government. So there's something so poetic about the fact that now, 50 years later, we have a majority Labor government who are full of really amazing people who can really get things done.
Yep. Totally.
So what did we see on Insiders this morning, Mum? Do a bit of a recap.
We saw three people talking to David. Jennifer Hewitt, who is, I think, a correspondent a journalist for the review, Fin Review.
Oh, is she? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly looking around.
Therefore, she puts that side of it, which is fairly conservative. In fact, it's very right-wing, I think. But even she said it's been a total embarrassment for the National Party and the coalition and the Liberal Party to have had this public spat in such a terrible decision that they made. There was Mark Kenny this morning.
Oh, Mark Kenny.
Mark Kenny, who is a very, very good sensible, I think, sensible person who works at the ANU, so therefore he's got credentials. And the other one was Claudia, someone or other.
Claudia Long from ABC News.
Yes. And yeah, it was an interesting discussion.
Yes, that's right. Jennifer Hewitt from the Australian Financial Review.
Yes.
But your favourite was on last week, who, of course, is...
My favourite is Nikki Saba, who doesn't spare anything. She pulls no punches. And she gave the coalition good heaping last week.
Good drubbing, as they say.
Yes.
Anyway, this week it was really focused. It's been an incredible. So just going back to the election. So the first thing that happened was that it was clear. It was called very quickly, and I was actually down in Canberra with the Lovies, my band, and by 8:30, my son, who lives in Canberra, was there, and he said, "They've called it, Mum." I said, "You're kidding already?" And he went, "Yeah, it's massive." So that was pretty exciting. And then the next thing, of course, for us in Richmond, in the electorate of Richmond, was seeing whether the Greens candidate was successful, because she had a huge campaign where they worked really hard. But of course, we were campaigning for Justine Elliott, who is the incumbent Labor Member of Parliament, and also does a great job and has been doing a great job for 21 years. And so we were watching closely to see what happened, and we were very happy to see Justine get back in again to keep on with her great work.
Here.
And then the next thing was Adam Band.
Poor Adam. I felt sorry that Adam's gone. I quite like Adam.
Mum decided she likes Adam. I don't know what was it. What was it that turned you around? But...
Well, no, I've always liked him because I think he's a good speaker, and I've watched him at the press club a few times, and he's eloquent, and I like the look of him. I know the Greens have had a bit of a bad name because they've said no so many times. They're almost as bad as the coalition in not supporting the Labor move, the Labor decisions. Policies, yes, that's the word. Policies.
But anyway, there he went. So that was pretty amazing to watch. And then, of course, well, before that, Max Chandler Mather lost his seat as well up in... I don't know if I can pause. We've had a little coffee incident. You got excited about Max. Mum, what do you think of Max?
No, not Max. I was going to say, before...
We can't all abandon them. Sorry. God, it's all over you. It's all over your stuff, your papers. Anyway, come on, come back. Never mind. There's more important things at hand here.
But before Max Chandler and Adam Band, of course, Dutton lost his seat.
Oh, of course. Oh, God. How could I forget that? In a way, the biggest, the most amazing thing to watch. So, you know, it was a trifecta in a way. It was, or even a quadrifecta, if you want to put it that way. So it was Dutton, followed by Max Chandler Mather. He lost his seat pretty early in the piece, followed by Adam Bant, followed by the Mandy Nolan, the Greens candidate for here. And then what happened?
And then was it I forget.
Well, I guess the next thing that happened was it was just one seat after another, this massive swing to Labor, including for us in Byron Bay. There was a swing to Labor, which hasn't really happened for a long time because it's very much a Greens stronghold here in the Byron Shire. Richmond is interesting because there's Tweed on one side and there's Ballina on the other side, and they both were very strong national supporters, but they've switched to Labor. And Byron Shire, which is where we live, has been very Green. So Mandy Nolan won in the Byron area, but there was, in each of the poll stations, there was definitely
how much? How much
I don't
sweet?
know how much, but
It
that
was
we feel
sweet.
very proud about that. Well, Mum does, because you were up at Ocean Shores, weren't you?
I was.
Handing out and
I
convincing
was.
people
I was.
with some of the other elders of the Labor Party, the true believers of the Labor Party, up there convincing people that really it was going to be better this time to vote for Labor. And I think they really succeeded. So well done, you lot.
Yes.
Well done.
Jenny and Lyndall.
That's right. And Yvonne was down there, and Liz was in other places. There were a whole bunch of amazing women. Diana handing out for the Labor Party, and all we had a big celebration the other day, and it's just everybody's so happy. So that happened, and then of course in the last week we've seen the absolute crumbling of the coalition.
Embarrassing, really, for them.
What are they saying? It's a debacle. There's an arrogance, there's petulance, there's tears probably.
Lots of tears, I imagine.
But I was listening to Fran Kelly and Patricia Karvelis's podcast when the news came in, and Patricia Karvelis has been doing a big lot of work on, I think, for Four Corners on the Liberal Party, which we need to watch tomorrow night. But in the middle of all of that, she found out that the coalition had crumbled, split. And apparently they've got back together again, but there was a lot of very interesting.
I don't know that they've got back yet.
Are they discussing it?
Yes. Apparently this weekend.
This weekend. Yes. Okay. So we'll look forward to some big news this
I have to say
week.
I feel for Susan Ley because she's got a thankless job. Like these political parties do, a lot of businesses do. They put women in where they can see everything's collapsing around them. Let's get a woman who tide us over, and then they'll kick her out. They'll get her back in.
Which is exactly what happened to my mother when she was asked to come in and run the choir at the St. Mary's Cathedral. She was brought in as the first woman, non-Catholic, to come in and work with that choir when everything was falling apart. And the first thing that she did, only a woman would think of this, was to put a window in to the rehearsal room so you could actually see in and see what's going on. So you've had experience of that, haven't you?
I've had quite a bit of experience of just using a woman to keep the show together.
That's right. Yeah. Right. So hence a little bit of cynicism, but also I'm so proud of you for doing that job. So I also feel sorry for Susan Ley because she lost her mum. During that whole time she had to hold it all together, become the leader, prosecute the leaders. The case of the Liberal Party. In her grief. So I do feel sad and sorry for her that she had to go through so much, and I hope she's okay. Anyway, there was a lot of talk about all of that this morning on Insiders, and then we had David Spears interviewed Kevin Hogan, who is the national member of Parliament for Page, which is the next electorate over from Richmond. Massive electorate. It's a big rural electorate pretty much from the border into Queensland, right up towards Wollongong, and all the way down just north of Coffs Harbour, and Grafton, Yamba, Maclean.
So where's the Richmond?
Richmond is from Tweed Heads down to south of Ballina. And Page is huge, and it also includes Lismore. So he lives in Lismore. It was actually a Labor Party. It was held by the Labor Party. Janelle Saffin was the member of Parliament there, and then he managed to get it off her. And
Janelle Saffin is now in the state.
She is.
Government, state.
Yeah. He's 61. He's almost exactly. He's like 1 month older than me. I mean, what can I say? He looks a lot older than me. And he's only been the deputy leader of the Nationals since May 2025. So that's like just for a minute and a half. And now he's thrust into the limelight. And they're asking him, David Spears asked him all the difficult questions.
Yes, he did. David Spears, he really hoed into him.
Sometimes we don't like him, sometimes we love him, depending on how we're feeling, depending on who he's interviewing. Well, but it's like, go hard with Kevin.
Yes. Poor old Kevin. I found a bit sorry for him.
Did you? You're such a softie.
I'm a softie.
Well, he's meant to be a moderate. I did a little tiny bit of research while he was talking because it was a bit boring, and found out that he's considered to be a bit of a moderate in the Nats, and he's seems to be quite popular. But I don't know very much about the politics in Page. All I know is that we really do need to go hard in Page next time and get the Labor back in, because I think, the Greens are pretty popular also particularly in Lismore. So, let's hope in the next 3 years we can manage to kick out the Nats.
But on the other hand, we do need to have strong opposition. It's not good enough, actually, to wipe out the opposition, because there's got to be some group to hold the Labor Party to account.
It's true. And you always need someone strong to push up against, and if there's nobody, then, but it's also a little, it's going to make question time a bit boring, isn't it? If they've got nobody to really, no one's really going, because I watched question time in the last term, and even that, at least, I will never say this again, but at least Peter Dutton was, a strong presence in the Parliament and was somebody they could really push up against. But, I don't know what's going to happen now.
It's going to be hard to push up against Susan
Lee and the rest of them, because it's all a bit sad, really. Anyway, we're interesting to see what happens there. In the meantime, of course, there's all that flooding down in the south. So, whilst Rome burns, the politicians are fiddling around, playing politics.
Playing their fiddles. Like Nero. When Rome was burnt, he played his fiddle. So the story says.
Yes, playing their fiddles badly. They're sort of cracked violins, really, aren't they? I don't have much to say about what Kevin Hogan said. I don't think he's really across stuff. I think he's probably a very local and popular, with some people, MP, and perhaps has been thrown in, take this.
Yes.
And he has to kind of answer big questions that perhaps he's not 100% too sure about. He seemed a bit stumped on net zero.
I wonder if they had asked David Littleproud and he said, no, I'll send my deputy.
Yeah, maybe.
He can cover for me.
And so the big question this week, I suppose, is, will Littleproud survive as the leader of the Nationals? There seem to be a few people lining up behind him. What's his name?
Michael
McCormack.
Though he said that he wouldn't be challenging, but then he put big question mark.
We've heard that before.
And also Canavan, Matt Canavan.
Oh yeah,
challenged David Littleproud. Matt Canavan is the worst climate denier.
It could be quite fun though, because he's like such a dweeb. And then, there was some question about it was put to Kevin Hogan, would you like to be the leader? And he sort of fuffled about.
No,
of course none of them are going to go, yeah. But he did say, I am ambitious for him.
That was Michael McCormack who said that.
I thought it was it?
Yes.
Oh, not Kevin Hogan. Oh, sorry.
No. Well, Kevin Hogan may have said it as well, but Michael McCormack did.
It's all a bit Shakespearean, isn't it?
Is hilarious, which is, of course, what Scott Morrison said to
Malcolm Turnbull. And they've trucked out Malcolm Turnbull, haven't they, a bit lately?
Well, he's a
We
good
miss
speaker.
him. We
He's a
miss
good-
Malcolm. He was a good Liberal. And, you know,
He
and
should
so,
have been in the Labour Party.
well, that's what people say. But
Yes.
well, you can't have someone in the Labour Party living in a billion-dollar mansion, can you?
Yes, you can.
They gave
Kevin
Albo
Rudd.
enough just for buying a fairly humble $4 million house on Central Coast. I don't know if it goes very well, but anyway, then so there was talk about, well, what's Murray Watt going to do this week?
Yes.
In a way, it's kind of the first big
Test.
Is it a test? I guess it is. I don't know what to think about it. I
think it's
realize
a
I don't
test.
know that much about environmental stuff, but I have joined LEAN, which is the Labor Environmental Action Network, and there are some really great Labor politicians who are part of that, and we'll see what happens. I've got to learn more about that. That I'll be interested
Well,
to see.
if anybody can make the right decision, it's Murray Watt. I think he's very thoughtful and he's quite forceful.
He's pretty pragmatic though, isn't he?
Well, you've got to be.
This is
You've
about
got to be pragmatic.
Yeah, I guess you do. And this is about extending the lease on the gas fields up in Western Australia.
Yeah, is it the Kimberley's Northwest Shelf?
Northwest Shelf. So keeping it going even up to 2070 is being talked about.
But I've read there are a lot of ancient Aboriginal carvings in that area that the Aboriginal company people are worried about.
Yeah.
Because
So hopefully that's part of the negotiations.
Well, surely he's got to take that into
Definitely. He definitely will. Anyway, I watched quite a little bit nervously about that because I've already seen some posts by Larissa Waters, who is now the new leader of the Greens,
who
talking.
is an environmentalist.
She is definitely an environmental, and people seem to really like her.
She's more gentle than the others. The ones who
we can't even remember their names anymore. Your mate Adam.
That's right. Adam, the other guy. What's his name? Yes.
So we watched that for that this week. And then of course there was a little bit of talk about Paul Erickson at the National Press Club, which I watched and you watched a little bit later.
I did.
I thought it was so great. I mean, it was so significant. He must be like the hero at the moment. But he spoke in such a calm way about the way that they put together the strategy for the Labor Party. And I think that obviously they did a great job. So everybody was there. A lot of the Pollies were there. Albanese was there as well. Tony Burke was there. I think I saw Katie Gallagher there.
Yeah.
So, they were there to support him and also to honour him for, him and his team. He acknowledged his team and
which includes another of my favourite.
Ooh, who's that? I know who you're going to say.
Who?
That journalist who used to go on all the time, Catherine Murphy.
That's right, Catherine Murphy.
I miss her on Inside.
I do too.
But she left journalism
to become a media advisor for Albo.
That's right. Yeah. So we never hear anything from her anymore, which is a shame because if you're watching this, Catherine, if you happen to be watching Grumpy Old Women,
we miss you.
We miss you. Anyway, there's a lot of uncertainty in the world. Things are a bit shaky. Right at the moment, it doesn't feel like it here, does it? Because it's a beautiful day. But, what Trump's doing in America just never ceases to astound all of us. An alarm. And it's also what's, everything that's happening in Palestine, in Gaza particularly, is just absolutely horrendous and shocking. And I do hope that our government comes out a bit more strongly against it. I think actually, they've said forever we believe in a two-state solution, but it seems less and less likely that that's what Israel is doing.
Well, Israel certainly wants
Netanyahu anyway. But I think
they want the Gaza Strip so they can have holidays in the sun.
Well, that's
all of that sort of stuff.
So, it's one of those things. But I noticed that Canada, the UK, and several other countries, France, came out quite strongly this week. And I really hope that our government follows.
Well, Kenny, what's her name? Her name.
Give me a hint.
Our Foreign Affairs.
Penny Wong?
Penny Wong has said that over and over again, we support a two-state solution.
Yeah.
And that they've got to keep it that.
Well, that's just not going to happen, though, isn't it? How can that happen when they're just completely going in and destroying?
It's got to. I mean, how can a country, well, like Russia, is trying to get Ukraine? It's the same sort of thing. Israel is trying to get the Gaza Strip and West Bank, the whole lot, and they're actually pushing Palestinian families out of the West Bank so that the Israelis can build their houses without interference from the world.
Anyway, I just want to acknowledge that is extremely complicated and complex, and we know at least that. And I think that sometimes people can jump on an easy bandwagon with that, and it's really dangerous to do that, I believe, in Australia, because we have a multicultural society, and particularly around here in Richmond, we have we have a big community of Jewish and Israelis, and we think that we're just recording. Just one sec, just a second. We're nearly finished. And I think that we need to be a bit careful about the language that we use.
We do, because that sort of hyperbole, it disturbs the unity of the country.
I was also really disturbed to hear about those two Americans who were shot dead in Washington. Shocking. And how quickly things can get out of control, because really, this is Netanyahu and his cronies who are making this happen. It is the Zionist. It is not all to just say it's all Jewish people is absolutely ignorant. So, on that note, moving forward, I've got a big rehearsal this afternoon. I've got 50 people coming here to sing, so that's exciting. And we've got our big concert coming up in a couple of weeks, the 22nd of June. This is with the choirs, raising money for the amazing work of Mullumbimby District Neighbourhood Centre. What have you got on this week?
I'm hoping to go to the movies with somebody. I've just asked Catherine, do you want to come to the movies?
What do you want to see next? Aznavour, bet.
I do want to see Aznavour, yes, and Jenny wants to go to that.
Great.
But yes, so that's one.
We could open up our diaries and share them with you if you want.
And I'll be playing cards, and I'll be going to my exercise classes and having a massage.
And you'll be practicing the piano, because Elizabeth's doing a concert at Chara Music Temple quite soon. We'll let you know. She's going to be, what are you going to be playing?
Not too soon.
Yeah, well, that's why you've got to get in there and practice.
I'm playing a bit of Bach, of course, my favourite. A bit of Schumann, a bit of Chopin.
Which one is
something like that? It's Chopin.
Oh, the Chopin.
Yes,
beautiful.
Yes.
And I'm trying to encourage her to play a bit of Shostakovich.
It's too hard. His piano music is
hard.
Difficult. It's difficult. the only bit I can play, you should watch Shostakovich Piano Concerto No. 2, the second movement. It's gorgeous.
When I edit this, I might put a little bit of on at the
that's
end.
good. I could play that if I get the music.
I think you should. We'll get the music. Anyway, lovely to thank you for people. We had so much feedback. People really loved our Grumpy Old Women.
For some reason, I can't imagine.
We're not sure why, but because it's not like we really know what we're talking about, but at least they're all our own opinions. But, you know, people have enjoyed it and we've had a great time. And this is the final one for now, but you never know. We might, I've got this great idea about Grumpy Old Women cook nice recipes. So, you know, if we do that.
A few thoughts about that.
Yeah. Okay, bye.
Bye.